I'm sure you know what Survive and Kill the Killer in Area 51 is. Some of you might remember it from its eerie soundtrack. Or maybe its creepy-ass map. And if you don't know about it, that's fine as well, because today I will be going over the history of the game, the lore, the secrets, and why it should have never existed. So, stick around to learn a thing or two about one of Roblox's most classic and famous horror games. Let me know if you guys want me to cover any more classic Roblox games, but now, let's go back to the very start. It's April 29th, 2014. Homer Mafia 1, a Roblox player, released their game to the website. The title of the game reads as Survive and Kill the Killers in Area 51 with 3 exclamation marks. And the description read, 3 weapons are hidden in the underground base to kill these dangerous killers. Can you find them? The game originally only had 7 killers, these being Slenderman, Alien, Zombie, Jason, Freddy Krueger, Ghostface, and Jeff the Killer. And in the original version of the game, there were 3 clones of each killer that were placed around the map, just to make it feel less empty. The player's main goal is to go into the facility and find the 3 weapons that were originally placed around the map. Like a scavenger hunt, the first 3 weapons in the game were the ray gun, the shotgun, an M4A1, and the 4th weapon, which was locked behind a 30 Robux game pass called the MG42. At this point, the game didn't have much content, but through 2016 to 2018, a large amount of content was added to the game. 2016 to 2018 was the first major weapon and killers update. The weapon count went from 4 to around 10, with the addition of the Desert Eagle, the M16A2, the M14, the Freeze Gun, an RPG, and an AK-47. And for the killers, it went from 7 to around 20. Some other notable changes were the Pack-a-Punch machine, which can upgrade your weapon, and you have to find it through a secret, and the Perca-Cola machine, which dispenses drinks, and when you drink them, it gives you temporary bonuses. The creator of the game seemed to be a Call of Duty fan, and rightfully so. We all know Zombies is a superior Call of Duty game mode, but we're here for Roblox, so let's move to the next couple years. 2019 to 2020 was the game mode overhaul. In September of 2019, Storm Area 51 was a very popular meme on the internet, so the creator of the game capitalized on the viral meme by adding an official Area 51 storming story mode featuring Naruto runners, Kyles, and rock throwers. Honestly, looking back, this was quite the cringy era. If you don't know what this was, people were banding together on the internet to go and storm Area 51, but in the end, it never happened. After the addition of this mode, there was also multi-mode expansion, which changed the game from one single map to multiple distinct modes, these being Juggernaut mode, Infection mode, Killer mode, and Endless Survival. And the classic mode was split into normal, hard, and extreme difficulties, which scaled the killer's speed, health, and damage respectively. By this time, there was 14 to 17 weapons during 2019 to 2020, and there were 35 killers. I won't read off the list because there are too many and I don't want to waste your time. Now we move to the 2021 to 2023 era. During this period, a lot of lore was introduced to the game. Different sections in the map got overhaul updates as well, which brought the game a more modern look. The dunes, the alien laboratory, and the voltage room were given updated textures and interactive hazard traps, as well as the total roster of unique killers going to 50. The game was getting fat. Next, we move into our modern day era where the game is still standing. In the past 2 years, there haven't been as many updates, although there have been changes to the UI and controls. A few new weapons,
including a nunchuck clip, battle axe, spike,
and a few new killers and bosses. Here's a list of the current day killers. That's all the updates, but I haven't even showed you the actual game. So, let's get to exploring. At the start, it was a very simple game, and to this day, it hasn't really changed much. If you compare the map from 2014 to the one from today, you'll notice the map has changed, but it's relatively still the same. But anyways, let's take a closer look, and we will be starting off at the earliest version of the game. You might notice how empty the map looks. The first iteration of the game practically had nothing in it, although you still can see the similarity in the map design, especially with the entrance. I'll keep the exploration short, just so you can get a rough idea of what the map is like. After dropping down the pit, there are 3 areas you can go into. Going to the left brings you to the radioactive area, and it still has the same secret tunnel that's in the roof. Heading out of the radioactive zone and staying on the left side of the map again, there are a bunch of little rooms in this area. For example, when you drop down here, you can control a couple doors that are in the main section of the map. And here's a quick look at the rest of the left side. Honestly, there really isn't much in the map at the moment. It's best to just remember the layout of the map, as the first iteration really didn't have much content. Now, here's the middle path of the game. On the left is the doors that the player can control through the ladder room, and in the middle there is a small room that's closed off, similar to one of those padded psychotic patient rooms. Now to the final section on the right side of the map. This area is definitely the least fleshed out, with only 2 sections, and both of them are relatively empty, with the second room only having a couple stacks of boxes. Alright, now it's time to check out the actual game and its current state, as well as talking about the lore and secrets. Alright, let's get into the lore, and I'll have some of the boring parts of the game in the background. So, for context, the primary source of lore in the game is through papers,
I need to see you blowing beefcake and riding with asshole.
killer case files, and random things found around the map, like dead NPCs or random items. And it would be quite easy for a random player to miss all of this lore, as you kinda have to go out of your way to find it. So let's start off with the notes. And I'll be going through chronological order, starting at page 1. The first paper is called The Radioactive Area. It's located in, who would have guessed, the radioactive area, and it warns the player that the area is contaminated by leaking radiation from an abandoned atomic bomb. It also notes that there's a hidden weapon, which is the ray gun, and it mentions a secret boss, which is a giant zombie that can be killed only with the ray gun. Paper 2 is called The Survival Note, and is found in the cafe. It was left by a worker in the facility telling you tips on how to survive against the killers. And if you were to search how to deal with a raccoon who has rabies and broke into your house, you would get the same information as the note. Paper 3 is called Our Secret Project, and it's found in the conference room. This paper sounds like the name of a plan 2 Mormons would have together while trying to make a baby before marriage. Anyways, it was written September 1945, and it details capturing an alien from a distant planet to grow and use as a secret powerful weapon. There truly is no power like enslaving an alien to do your bidding. Paper 4 is The Robots Invasion, and you can find it in the office. It was written by a starving engineer hiding from a rogue batch of defense robots that went berserk and slaughtered his team. And this paper is actually part of a trilogy of papers written by the same person, and for some reason, going through chronological order, it's the first when it should be the last. And the first paper is actually paper 5, which is for some reason after that one, and it is found in the rejects room. This entry is from the guy when he first started working here, and he was writing about how excited he was to start his new job. Little does he know, it would end in a tragedy, much like any attempt I make in conversing with people in the real world. I'm a vile freaking chud. Now paper 6, which is the second part of this worker's diary, located in the robotics center. This one talks about how they're developing a defense force for Area 51. And you know all too well, this doesn't end up defending them, but rather killing them. Paper 7 is called Containment Procedures, located in the containment area. This one talks about how there's a special procedure for cleaning the alien. Paper 8 is called Unknown Code Found in the Pump Center. A worker notes that a colleague leaked the access code 1947 used to unlock the isolation vault for the AK-47. Paper 9 talks about a secret room in the sewers, and mentions a combination which you can find on the walls down there. Paper 10 talks about how the containment locks failed, and it also confirms that the killer outbreak was at the same time as the robot invasion. The facility workers were getting tag teamed by the robots and killers like it was Prime Super Smash Bros, and they really didn't stand a chance. Paper 11 talks about a chemical called RZ, which is an alien compound that is used for bioengineering and energy weapons. To give you an analogy, it would be like crack and megafent mixed together, put into humans and weapons. Paper 12 talks about this chemical called hate, H-A-T-E, like hate, and it wears off after 14 months. Take a wild guess what ingesting hate does. It turns you into a roided up meathead who was told you were balding as a side effect of shooting physical enhancers into your veins, and now you have an uncontrollable temper at any sort of hostility towards you. And fun fact, one of the female workers at the facility accidentally took hate and turned into the killer aberration. Paper 13 talks about how dangerous the laboratory is and all of the substances that are inside, like the hate and rage serum. Paper 14 talks about a worker that doesn't like working there because he feels the passion doesn't exist anymore, so they are resigning. And now the final note, which is called Capacity Insight, which is very brief and talks about the weapons production for the facility. Alright, that's all the notes done. And if you didn't understand any of the notes or anything that I just said, I'll have a quick summary very fast, yes, 30 seconds max. Let's go. After World War II, Area 51 was created, and the first subject that was captured was the alien, which led to the creation of the nuclear warheads and the ray gun. They later expanded into bioweaponry. Scientists created dangerous chemical compounds such as the hate, rage, and RZ, intended to enhance soldiers or create biological weapons. But, of course, the human testing went wrong. Exposed staff turned into mutated feral entities. To hide their mistakes, the military directors built sewer dumps and isolation vaults to trap infected employees rather than cure them. So now that the aliens and the entities escaped, it would only be fair if the robots did as well. So the facility staff now had to survive aliens, entities, and robots. Sounds like a Rick and Morty episode. Only my high IQ viewers will understand that one. Someone kill me. That's a joke. But anyways, after that, the breach happened, which was toxic spills and radiation leaks, as well as creepypastas, mutants, and aliens spilling out into the facility. At this point, the place was cooked. So, High Command realized the situation was uncontainable, so they cut off radio transmissions, which is why the security team in the bottom was left down there to die. And this is when supernatural entities from outside, like Slenderman, detected that there was a party going on down there, so they broke in and started taking over the place as well. So that's the lore, and I can now give you your opinion like Moist Critical. Okay, that's a joke. I love that guy. But you still need to form your opinion on this. The facility is bad. Yeah, that's it. Go and spread the news to everyone. We hate the facility. Video over. But not exactly. There is something I've been hiding this entire time, and is by far the most important. Some of you might have noticed the game was released in 2014, and lesser of you have noticed this game isn't really from 2014. So let's go to all of our favorite site, Reddit, and we'll see people have actually speculated on this before. A thread from 7 years ago talks about how this person had found the original game, and in true Reddit fashion, someone else responded and said they were wrong and this was the actual original game, as well as talking about its creator. And the first game I showed earlier in the video is actually this guy's game. So let's take a look at his profile, and this is where we learn the game shouldn't have existed. His name is Icy Fresh, and for some reason now, after leaving this video for about 2 weeks because I'm lazy, visiting his profile, I can't seem to find his bio or his game. Luckily, I took a screenshot a little while ago of his bio. He talks about how the game was stolen around 2008 to 2010 and was reposted all over Roblox, as well as never agreeing to the spreading of his game, and how he didn't allow any of the current day versions of the game to exist as it was a stolen map. I won't go into the details on how this was stolen, as back in the day there were a lot of different methods. The creator has also stated that he dislikes these games because the creators of these games have predatory monetization practices targeting younger children, which truly is an issue in modern Roblox. Just close your eyes and click a random game on the front page, and then look for any kind of spin wheel. It'll take no more than 3 tries. That is how prominent it is now. And I don't mean to turn this into a rant like some crazy old guy, but I think Roblox creators' goalpost has changed over time from making quality to making money, and that is the unfortunate truth. And the same goes for the corporation Roblox as well. But this is for another video, and this may be foreshadowing. Leave a comment if you'd like to see that, or have any critiques on how this video was done, as I'm still trying to find a good format for how this goes. Anyways, please consider subscribing if you'd like to see more of this type of video, and have a great day.